there, beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to my Ascension update here in the mountains once again. It's beautiful weather after the solar eclipse, and the energy is just very much purified, and we have snow now, so it's exciting. So during this week, I was receiving guidance to talk about something really important, which is happening to a lot of ancient souls. So what is an ancient soul? That is the soul that has deep roots on this planet, that has been experiencing incarnation ever since the beginning. Let's call it like this, the beginning of this beautiful creation experiment here on Earth. And a lot of these souls have origin in Lemurian times and Atlantean times and so forth. So anyway, what is happening is that a lot of these souls still sometimes, when it comes to the surface, hold like this residual memory of not really using their powers for the greater good. Sometimes this comes as the fear of their powers, as in terms of how they related to them in the past and these experiences that they might still hold. And these experiences are very much rooted to the core of the planetary body. So they come through the soles of our feet. And when we do with this, when we come to this level of our ascension initiation, we'll be usually working with the black and white. That is why so many yin and yang colored messages are coming through for a lot of us. And this deals with the Earth Star chakra. So when we really are starting to ground our rooted existence here on this planet, we start working with really embodying our essence and our gifts, our soul attributes, right to the very core of this planetary existence. So when this happens, when we're ready, things will start coming up. So we're going to start making the unconscious thing conscious. And with this, what's going to come up sometimes maybe will be fears, or you'll be feeling confusion or wanting to step forward but still being kind of pulled backwards. So sometimes people report this to me, and usually this is because of these memories. So the first thing here is forgiveness, is knowing that you're wiser now, that you have the experiences and you know how to work with your soul gifts, that you're ready to use them and utilize them, because without really grounding that your entire existence here in full body presence, you won't really be able to bring your star wisdom here onto this planet. So this is why this initiation is very important. This deals with divine trust. And as this comes up through fears, sometimes what different souls experience is rather giving their power away to something external, or going for psychic readings and just turning for advice elsewhere, instead of really allowing that inner power to come out. Because of a lot of ancient souls, they're alchemists. They know how to work with energies. They know how to manifest. They know how to bring things to fruition. And sometimes the self-sabotaging pattern is related to these experiences. And when you can imagine is like, let's say, a rock or petrified wood, and anything that really feels ancient to us, how much memory it has inside. But at the same time, what happens is it crystallizes. So petrified wood is actually the remnants of a tree that actually they start to be replaced. Organic material starts to be replaced with inorganic, and what happens is it almost becomes mineral in its essence. And you have that in many other things as well. And it's just being replaced. So what this means is that there's always this space for you to alchemize, and you're turning to this greater wisdom. And when you think of it, there's so much ancient memory stored there, and again, you're transforming it. A form is becoming new. So this is what's happening in the ascension journey. So mostly this is coming up for souls who are finally now ready, after all these experiences, for ascension cycle. And they're ready to start something new. And this is the step that they need to take in order for them to really enjoy their earthly experience. Because for a lot of these memories, what's been held within was when you use your power in a certain way, you're going to get persecuted, or something will happen, or, during like the times of Atlantis, there was a lot of fear of abusing that power once again, as it was used to. Not even, it doesn't even need to originate from your own soul, but collective memory as well. So a lot of this knowledge and how to utilize the power of alchemy and how to work with the elements went dormant, went for sleep for a while. But you're ready now, and you're ready to share your ancient star wisdom. And you need to do this step. And and you will feel, because you'll be ready. Things will start coming up. During this time, I feel it's really important, if this is flooding back to your conscious sensations, to really work with your feet chakras. It's not just about walking barefoot or hiking, connecting with rocks and minerals and everything that's very rooting you to the core of this planetary magnitude. And rock is ancient, it has so many memories. That's why I love rocks. And the thing is that you can also energetically, because everything first is energy, to really imagine yourself how that beautiful harmonized essence of black and white moves through you, and it moves through your feet, and how when it reaches the earth, it kind of like intertwines in this, let's say it's like a spiral, it forms like a DNA structure, and this beautiful harmonized based reality for you now. This is your true essence when it flows through, and it flows through the core of your feet, and it moves into the earth. And what happens then, it merges with the planetary star chakra, earth star chakra. So what happens is you become directly linked with it, and you know that your experiences now will be fresh. It's like a blank slate, and you will be acting always out of greater good when you use your gifts. So you don't have to fear them, or feel like somebody else has better gifts than you, and you want to have other psychic readings or people telling you what to do, and you always end up giving your power away. Let me give you my own example, that whenever this came into my life as initiation, when somebody pretended, for maybe a short time being, that they know more about my path than I do, it always turned out to be my spirit initiation, because on a path of ascension, you will always have these. They're necessary. It's not like you're testing yourself. Source does not test you, but you need those experiences of initiation to ground your wisdom, to make it real, to see how it feels. You will never know how something feels unless you experience it. And it's not like a punishment or a test or a hardship. A lot of people now, I see them saying on my page, I'm trying so hard for ascension, I'm working so hard. Ascension is not meant to be hard. That's the perspective of yours that's distorted. It's not a source. Let that go. You don't need that perspective, because it's not authentic. It doesn't come from your soul. Ascension is devotion, yes. It requires us to do the work, but it's not hard. It's not an effort. It's not something you struggle with and you move against the flow. And it's just not authentic. So you can release that, and the more forgiveness you do, and for all the experiences that you've had, it doesn't have to be seen as a direct story. Stories are stories. They're not important here. It's important that you're now. Your wisdom is rooted here in the now. And when you really accept that forgiveness for what was, you understand it from the higher perspective. Because forgiveness really can only come from you rising your awareness to the highest perspective of your angelic self, which oversees everything. Seeing yourself as the angelic self sees. And that means that you understand that these experiences were always preparing you for something that is unfolding in the now. And this is it. This is it, your journey of ascension. That's when you're utilizing it, here and now. And I want to share an example here. What happens is when you give your power away to, let's say, psychic readers, or, all these things like such. Doesn't have to be like that, but many other things where we somehow consciously or unconsciously put our power instead of really trusting ourselves. And sometimes this can be quite limiting and sabotaging to our own natural soul's progression journey. And I'm going to give you an example of encouragement here rather than share what can happen if we don't listen. Because I was running this week and I received guidance that I need to share this story because it is so encouraging, and it gives you the example that anything is possible because you're an alchemist. And when you're gonna release those memories that you hold, in the part of you, not just cellular memory, but the part of you that links you to this earth. Let's say your own star chakra at the feet, and then connecting to the earth star chakra. And when you will do this, you will see then a new wave will come in, and you'll start to remember more. And you'll see this, how you're an alchemist, how you can manifest so much, because with this process, you'll integrate a greater part of yourself, which is your inner alchemist. So I'm going to give you a very much encouraging example, and it's from my mother. So a few years back, I remember I was talking to the psychic person on the phone, and during that time there was a situation with this man who basically robbed us. What happened was she needed that experience, and she couldn't understand at that time why. But it came now very apparent that it was for her to see just how powerful she is, and her faith is, and her knowing is, not trusting and relying on somebody else to tell her what's her truth. So what happened was, we wanted to buy new windows, because back then we lived in another apartment and it had these old windows that we really didn't like, that were ancient and falling apart and all that, you know. So she had a friend, and she vouched for her friend who was a builder, that, you know, he's going to do it all perfectly, and she can vouch for him 100%. So she paid in advance all this money, and he put out the receipt and everything. And all of a sudden, what happened, you know, the details don't matter, but he vanished. So something happened and he vanished. It was like slow progression until he basically one day he just wasn't reachable anymore. And even her friend back then, she couldn't believe it. She was like, I cannot believe that could happen. He was like almost a family friend, but that happened. And as I talked to that psychic back then, she said to me, oh, you know, your mom can just forget about that money, because she's not going to go through trial again or courts, because we already had that experience when my father passed away. And the other part of the family was, you know, very much into the whole money thing, and we didn't want to have anything to do with it. So it was very hard for my mom at that time, but at the same time very empowering. So she knew, and she said, well, she won't want to go through that, so she can just forget it. But she said, but somehow she'll get that money back if she's really trusting herself in a new way. But not from this guy. She said she's going to get it somewhere else, you know. And somehow my mom, you know, never managed to give up on this. She actually went to the police, and she said, I can't afford courts and trials, because, you know, you lose more money than you actually, you know, lost with the whole somebody stealing from you. But what happened at the end, because the process was long, it took a few years, but police and that man, I think he really went into this thing. And eventually they persecute him, and they say that he will go to jail unless he pays her back. So a few months back, she got this money returned with interests. And the funny thing was, the beautiful divine synchronicity in this whole story is that she got it right at the time that we need it, because our whole building, we were connecting to this new sewage system. It was very expensive, so we needed money for that. And it all just intertwined so beautifully. So it was like this amazing divine intervention. But the whole thing, when I was running, and I got this vision how this all makes sense when you don't listen to anybody else but yourself, and you put faith into your own soul. Because people might feel things, but they will interpret it in their own way. They don't know the whole story. Nobody ever will. It is yours. And it's your journey of ascension. And, you know, for example, I can guide you into the general basics of ascension, but then the rest, the personal part, is yours. So when we put this power to somebody else, it means we don't trust the gifts. And in that case, my mom trusted her gifts. She's patient. She knows how to speak through the heart. And she just tried. If she tried, she didn't try, she just quit, it wouldn't ever happen. And sometimes it's, we just need to feel what's right. Sometimes just sticking our head in the mud, if it's not working, if there's no results, you know, if it's very much going against the flow, then you don't do it. But if something inside of you, with all of your gut feeling, tells you, move forward, there's something there, just do it, and somebody else tells you maybe no, then who are you going to listen to? Where's your connection with source coming from? Is it your soul, or is it somewhere else? That's the thing. And as masters of ascension, as in our daily, day-to-day reality, we need to master it ourselves. Nobody else will. And a part of ascension is not just to get all this alchemy in awareness, but to really know how to work with it, to really put it in practice in our daily lives. So that is the most important part. And divine trust. Who are you ever going to trust if not yourself? I mean, with a capital S, your higher self always guides you. It is there. It overlights you. It is all-encompassing. It is nothing but pure love. And when love drives you, you know, the result will always be there. It might not be the way we imagine it at the beginning, and sometimes we're pushy and want everything right at once. But when you're patient and you have that faith, with faith, you know, like great masters have said before, anything is possible. So this is a typical example that shows you, you know, somebody said, oh, this won't work. And you think, well, a psychic told me that this is just how it is. Really? Is it really how it is? Or is it how you want it to be? Because as Ascension Masters, we know soul alchemy. And first we need to bring that up, which is still residual memory from something that no longer serves us. So I'm getting tongue-tied, and I'm gonna go. It's getting chillier, the sun went down. So until my next video, I'm wishing you a beautiful time wherever you are. I hope you had a beautiful light influx with this eclipse gateway. As always, so much love, wisdom, and power, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.